All right. Good morning, guys. So, yeah, just a reminder, today is the last week. It's the last day of the week. Tomorrow I'll be skiing. If any of you guys are going skiing Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and Friday, let me know. I'll be up there or over there to the left of where I am. Halo, Daniel, I know, man. I got to set it up. I have two PCs and I want to set up a dual PC stream so it's really good. I got to figure out how to do that. It's a little difficult. It's not easy setting up those streams. This one's easy on YouTube, which I might just stream on YouTube. If you want to go follow my gaming channel, you can. I created a little gaming channel. See if I can get the link to it. Yeah, I'll get it another time. But yeah. I also downloaded this game. Anyone played Star Citizen? Anyone played Star Citizen? It's a very cool game. Very cool game. If anyone's played it before. So, anyways, let's get started. Let's not talk about video games here. Excuse me. I'm gonna pull up the document, the Google Docs. Let's see what the quote of the week is, though. By what is it? Here's the quote of the week. You learn in this business. If you want a friend, get a dog. Carl Icahn. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Love it. All right. Just getting situated here. I'm going to Breckenridge. I'll get the gaming channel later for everyone to see. All right, guys. So yesterday we got a weird day, right? I mean, I'll just pull it up real quick for us to see. This is yesterday. So we got our push higher in the morning, rejection of 14,000, pretty common, pretty expected, and then just a really ridiculous downside move. And it's just, just volatility intraday. And got some news, got some more, I think more Russia-Ukraine news that sort of escalated this. And then got this late day push. Now, this push made a lot of sense to me. This push right here that we saw on the NASDAQ, this is partially due to maybe President Biden was talking at this time when it started to push, but this was a major demand level, guys, that the SPY and the NASDAQ bounced right off, right? So you can see we got a very sharp reaction off that level. That's why the title of this live stream is a major demand level. You guys can see that's the ES. This is the ES level that we talked about yesterday in the live stream, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. See those? See that big level there? That is exactly where we had that midday sort of reaction on the ES. You guys can see it right here, right? So this is always going to happen, right? There's always going to be some of these short-term reactions of major demand, just like this one was right here, very sharp. The question is, does this hold up, right? Does this hold up? That's the question that we all have in our minds today. So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. We'll check out some levels today. We'll look at, where do we think this holds up? Of course, this is very contingent on what comes out of the mouths of Russia and Ukraine today. Obviously, that's the very unfortunate fact that we have to worry about every day now trading this market is what news is gonna come out of those countries, and that's just unfortunate because it sucks to have to worry about that, and it definitely gives you a little bit of uncertainty on positions, and just requires you to be very careful with what you do, right? So if it wasn't for that, I would say, hey, this is a nice technical bounce. I think we probably see upside. If it was not for the fact that there could be just one word or one action out of Russia or Ukraine, and then this thing just goes boing, straight to the downside. So something we need to worry about today, something you got to keep an eye out for. We'll talk about it. So today is February 0223. That's actually my friend's birthday. I just realized. I got to wish him a happy birthday. Anyone's birthday? February 23rd. Futures, we'll look at that economic and earnings calendar. Yesterday we had a few earnings come out. PANW, that's a big one, and one that a couple of the guys in the Discord like. It did do really well. We'll talk about it today. What else did we have yesterday? So yesterday we had Teladoc, Palo Alto, PANW, Caesars, nothing crazy there. Lowe's is this morning. You guys saw Home Depot get wrecked yesterday, which is very interesting. After hours today, Fubo, Skills, Hertz, Clover, eBay, Lemonade, some big ones there. And then Alibaba Thursday. Thursday morning, Alibaba, Moderna, Nikola, Wayfair, Etsy, Coinbase, Block. This is Square. They call it Block now, if anyone's not aware. So we still have some pretty decent earnings coming up here to be aware of. Make sure you guys have that on lock. And then I think the only economic calendar thing to really be focused on is tomorrow jobless claims. That's like right? All the Thursdays. So always jobless claims on Thursday. And then I think Friday, this is going to be pretty important, right? The inflation numbers, core inflation numbers, consumer spending. So a lot of 5-year inflation expectations. This is going to be big on Friday, guys. Right here. All of this is going to be pretty big on Friday. So just be careful. Again, want to make sure everyone's aware. Every time you come here, I'll go over this. Friday, pretty big. And tomorrow, jobless claims. Nothing on the calendar today. None scheduled. So keep that in mind. All right. Amazon held 3,000. That was a level I wanted to see if it could crack below. It did not. It held up. The market pushed intraday. You guys right there. Happy birthday. It's my B-Day. Happy birthday. Market pushed up intraday, and Amazon held 3,000. So watching that, Tesla off 800. Very nice bounce off 800. I'll show you the daily chart on Tesla. We talked about it getting to 800 yesterday. It definitely did, and it found support there. So what happens next on Tesla? In my opinion, I think this looks like an opportunity to the upside if the market can continue. Tesla off of 800. So we'll look at it. Took my upstart profits. You guys saw my video last night. Still holding Procter & Gamble and Walmart, which are red right now, unfortunately. But I am still holding them. I don't think they broke any type of real trend, so I did not panic out of that position or those positions. Home Depot gets smacked. Home Depot really got smacked yesterday, and I think this is in my opinion, I don't really trade Home Depot on an intraday basis. Home Depot is just a big, just a big long-term investment for me, and I'll definitely be adding to Home Depot on this dip. So Home Depot got smacked yesterday, and we definitely should look at it. What is Lowe's doing this morning? Lowe's is slightly higher off earnings. It also fell yesterday, though, so it's basically back to where it was yesterday. But this could help Home Depot higher today. Lowe's beats estimates, raises forward year 2022 guidance, sales rise. Company sets out for year 2022. So again, just a good earnings from Lowe's as well. And Home Depot's earnings were good as well. It looks like Lowe's actually has a little bit of upside to it after earnings, but I believe that's probably just the fact that it's making up for yesterday's downside, right? If it was here when it reported, maybe you wouldn't have seen that same move. But Lowe's reported. We'll look at Home Depot and Lowe's together today. Roku. I know Roku is a really irrelevant stock, but I do see opportunity up to a rejection point. I think I'm probably not going to play it to the upside because I'm just not someone that wants to play Roku upside personally. But I see the opportunity for upside because of a very sharp fall and where I think it will reject, and I believe it will be a very nice trade to the downside once it hits that resistance. So we're going to talk about that today. PANW, big earnings, really strong beat. I was reading into it this morning. Thanks, Sierra, for putting it on my radar there. And a really nice daily level demand zone that it's bouncing off of. So worth looking at, PANW. Microsoft 280, big level. And then AMD, guys. AMD has been outperforming, which is very interesting. Definitely outperforming yesterday and definitely outperforming this morning as well. Coming off a nice level. I would definitely keep an eye on AMD here. Happy to see it holding up. Got that in the long term for sure. Would love to see this thing start to bounce back, but of course, it's just still a very questionable time in the market, guys. However, I am not going to be scared of dollar cost averaging into any of these good stocks. So we'll see what happens. AMD is definitely one of them. And then we'll go over what the members want to look at. We're already at a very large list. Actually, no, that was yesterday. So if you guys are part of the YouTube channel, make sure to go ahead and put your tickers in the Google Docs, and we can go ahead and take a look at that. Please put the ticker of the company, not the name of it. Someone put Medtronic. I'm not sure. I mean, I could probably figure it out, but it'd be easier if you could just put the ticker there, guys, not the name of the company. All right, let's get started. NASDAQ. So where did the NASDAQ bounce? Let me go back to the daily chart. Here's the daily chart, guys, and I'm gonna delete some of these lines. You guys can see this is the making of a double bottom. Now, I'm not going to come here on this stream and claim to be the one that says this is a double bottom, because it's still very questionable. However, that is definitely the making of a double bottom. Previous resistance, double bottom, right? It's the making of it. Now, is there anything here that makes me bullish? Not really, because this is still a very large downtrend. It's still not, there's no confirmation here just yet. The only confirmation I would get for this market to absolutely go higher would be the break of this 15,200. That is the only time that I would be 100%, I can't say 100%, but 95% confident that we would get a push to the upside is if we got this move. I mean, that would be pretty easy to say. If we got that push, retest, hold there at 15.2, that's when you say, hey, okay, it's time. It looks like this market is ready. But until then, guys, this is just going to be a very difficult area to assume where the market goes. But as of right now, I would say the odds are that we're going to find some support here at 13,900. That is my feeling as of right now. I believe you will see some type of support here at this double bottom, which you're sort of already seeing. But how long does it last? That's the question. So let me go back to the 4-hour chart, actually. Here we go. Okay, so 4-hour chart, you can see we are trying our best to hold this 13.9. We'll see what happens today, guys. If it does not hold, then we are going to, continue to make lower lows. We are going to continue to make lower lows. Yeah, I mean, EHA, you make a good point. It's been just a really slow grind to the downside. I mean, I personally wish, if we're gonna move lower, I just wish we'd get it over with and just capitulate to the downside. That's what I'd like to see. But it seems like this market is just very slow. Now, I know it looks ugly here, but I wish, honestly, as bad as it sounds, I just would have rather have seen a really bad capitulation to the downside so that we can start to just, get the panic. I want to see the panic. Right now, the panic's just not quite there as much as you would think, right? People are like, it's not like a, that virus type of drop that everyone panicked. I don't know. Sometimes it's better just to get it over with. But we'll see, guys. I mean, this could be, could start here. It definitely could start here. If we do really start to flush under this 13.9, this is a major level, right? Major level. And it's even more major on the ES, which we'll look at in a second. So 13.9, big bottom here, needs to hold if you're bullish. If I go to the 4-hour chart, you can definitely see the fact that we did make a lower low. So that's slightly concerning to me. It is technically right now you could say this is a little bit of a bottom, double bottom, but you do have to understand that we did make that lower low. So that definitely puts a little bit more question into my head whether this holds, right? I'm not being confident here that this holds. I'm just letting you know that this is an important level. So the double bottom is potentially there. However, I don't really like how we had that lower low. We did get bought up very quickly off of that. But we definitely need to understand that we did technically make that lower low here and we could again make a lower high. Yeah, the capitulation doesn't seem to be there, right? So we could just be doing this, right? You got to make sure you understand that. We could get this, right? And we could continue to make these lower highs and lower lows until we find some kind of reason for the market to hold up. you're getting something today. I wouldn't trust it with your life. Absolutely not. I would not be looking for, big positions to try to catch the bottom. That is absolutely not what I would be doing. Maybe you scalp some upside. Maybe you take some, you take some upside plays for short term if you think you get a little bit of continuation, maybe up to this trend line. But right now, guys, it's still very questionable in my opinion. So 13.9, that's a level to watch. I would love to see us hold that. I would love to see us hold above 14,000 today. That's the level that I would like to see us hold above, 14,000. That psychological level, that would be nice, right? 14K. Nice hold above 14K would give me a little bit more confidence. And then you have Friday's highs, which that's a level I'm watching for a lot of stocks. Friday's highs and then these last week highs right in this area. So Friday's highs are again right around 14.2, 14.3. I think to get any type of momentum to the upside, we need to break last week's highs, right? The last day of the week's highs, which is Friday, right up here. That's what I'd like to see. So keeping an eye on that Friday high. That's one of the levels I'm definitely watching for upside. To the downside, I'm just watching this 13.9 and 14,000. And then, of course, guys, I mean, if we break below yesterday's lows, that's no good, right? So those are the levels I have on the NASDAQ. The ES is a little bit more clear. The ES is definitely cleaner, in my opinion. The NASDAQ's a little bit all over the place. It's not really holding like the exact levels that I'd like. The ES is much cleaner. And why do I say that? Because if you look at the ES here, I mean, look at this bottom right here. Look at this. This is sort of like the tale of two halves. Like it's like either if we're trading above here, I would say you continue to look optimistic. And if you start trading below here, like if you start trading in this area, I would say that's looking pretty ugly. Because you do not want to see us start to trade below here. If we start to trade below this 4270, 4280, right below this level, I don't think it's going to look good, guys. I think that's going to cause a little bit of I think that will cause the technical breakdown if we get under the ES, right? Because, I mean, this is just a very clear-cut level here. And I think that is like the level where investors and traders will change their mindset and start to be thinking, okay, that's a big level we just broke. This is definitely something to be careful of, right? So we got some type of that, we got some of that bounce yesterday off this level. You can clearly see that. Here it is, guys, right? And this is much cleaner. You see how the ES did not make a lower low? The ES actually held that level strong, whereas the NASDAQ, a little bit sloppy, right? Look at the NASDAQ, a little bit sloppy here. You did get below and you got back above. The ES, much cleaner, much more solid off that level. You can see it right there. So is there opportunity? If you just ignore, I mean, you can't really ignore it because it's just the external environment with Russia and Ukraine is just sort of just really putting a hindrance on any type of technical play, because technicals just don't work when you have big headlines like that. So it is tough to trust the technicals now. I totally agree. And if you are having trouble trusting technicals right now, I would not blame yourself, because I am as well, because you just can't. I think it's foolish to trust technicals too much right now in the market, because you definitely know that there is a possibility of them getting totally invalidated by some type of news that comes out, which is just unfortunate. It sucks, but it's the reality. So, in my opinion, if I was trading the technicals here, I would say there is opportunity to the upside here. That's what I would say. In a normal world, in a normal market, I would say, hey, their risk to reward is very high here, in my opinion. There's a lot of people that are probably shorts that are sort of looking for downside here. And I believe that this is a major demand level, and there could be some opportunity to the upside if you are trading the technicals here. Now, am I telling you that that's absolutely 100% going to happen? I can't do that, right? I can't do that. But, the technicals definitely, I think that's what the technicals would give someone that's watching this market. That's what it would tell me, right? That's the risk to reward that I would be willing to take, right? Something here. So that's what I'm watching today. I'm watching, do we find any type of technical bounce off this major demand level? And if we do, I think we'll get some upside. I think the risk to reward here may be better if you play it long versus trying to play this short again. And I mean, if you played this short, obviously you probably have a higher probability of winning, but your risk to reward sort of sloppy here, right? Because if you get in here, your risk would be, right, this is your risk, and your reward would be down here, right? So it's a little bit of an inverse risk to reward in my opinion, but of course you could just be right and this thing just tank through. So it's difficult. But that's what I'm watching on the ES, guys. Major demand, 4-hour daily chart. Let's see if we get a little bit of push. If we do, I think we could maybe see 4,407 up here, or we start to reject at those Friday's highs. If we go to the Friday's highs, yeah, the SMAs, don't worry about the SMAs, guys. SMAs are nonsense right now. I wouldn't trust the SMAs. I'm not really focused on them. They're just there. And then Friday's highs. That's where maybe we could see, I believe, this ES push to. Maybe right around this 43.90 area. Maybe, if we get that push today. Friday's highs. So that's what I'm watching. 42.70 downside, major demand level. Possibly a push to 4,400 or 43.80, 43.90 if we do get a little bit of momentum. But overall, just still a very shaky market, guys. Please be careful out there. Please don't put on risk that you can't afford to lose. The Dow is very similar to the ES, guys. You can see it right here. It's just a major demand level, all right? And that's what we're doing. We're bouncing off a major demand level. So is the risk to reward there for upside? I absolutely think it is. Does that happen in this market? I am not able to say that with full confidence. But if I was just trading technicals, I would tell you that the risk to reward is fantastic to the upside. But, you guys all know the current situation. I just can't say it with confidence. That's the unfortunate fact. So, 33,500, you guys can see support, and it looks like maybe support again, right? You're starting to see that right now. So does that hold again on the Dow? That is something that I will definitely be watching. You can see it's held in the past, right here, support. And do we get that once again? That is something I'm watching on the Dow Jones and overall market as well. Here's the daily chart again. You can clearly see that, right? Boom, 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 and maybe another boom. Possible. Maybe you need a little mix of Ukraine tensions easing and maybe, good jobless claims tomorrow that the market likes. Maybe. All right? Maybe. Maybe that's the perfect concoction that you need, right? A little easing of Ukraine fears, good jobless claims, markets accepting of the jobless claims. Then maybe you see that sympathy bounce, right? But, let's just keep an eye on it. Let's not try to predict the future. Let's just see what the price action tells us. Russell. Yeah, I mean, the Russell, it sort of did exactly, it sort of did exactly what we expected here, right? 2100 rejection, and I don't see much going on here. You guys can see pushed higher, little bear flag into 2100, right? And then broke down. So 2100 rejection, bear flag into it, breaking down. I would look for more downside here. I'm not really interested in trading the Russell to the upside because I know that it's not going to get through this 2100 anytime soon, in my opinion. Now, I could be totally wrong, but that is a big level to break, and I just don't see how the market in the current environment would allow the Russell to break through that level, in my opinion. So that's the Russell. That's the futures. To wrap it up, guys, on the futures, I would just say watch those major demand levels today. If they hold up, maybe there's some opportunity to the upside, maybe. If there's a little bit of positivity in the market today. If not, then it's just going to be another chop day, and maybe we move back down to test those demand levels. So that's what I'm watching today. Amazon. So Amazon, I was looking to see if I can get that gap fill, and where I was looking to see if the gap would start to break down was right at 3,000 a share. So right around here at 3,000. I figured that would be a, let me go to the daily chart. I figured that would be the sort of the start to the gap, that technical psychological 3,000. It's sort of right in this level. It's not perfect, but I figured 3,000 was that psychological level that would maybe let this thing go to fill this earnings gap. So I was watching it yesterday, $3,000, to see if it would break down. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you can see it did temporarily, but it quickly got bought back up above 3,000 and now is holding above. So I'm going to watch 3,000 today. I'm going to see how we react off this technical level. There might be some opportunity if the market's strong to the upside off this level, but I still believe that Amazon could most definitely fill this gap to the downside. If I go to the daily chart, right here, you guys can see there probably could be a little earnings gap fill right here from 3,000 to around 2,900. It's about $100. It's about $100 gap here on Amazon, which could be filled if we break below that 3,000. Tesla. I personally like where we're bouncing on Tesla. I think this is an opportunity, in my opinion. I know, it's not been very pretty, and it's a little bit backwards to say that, but you have some really major support here that I'm definitely interested in. So you have previous support, or previous resistance, turns into support, and potentially turns into support again, right? Could you see a little bit of a sympathy move off this 800? I absolutely believe you can, if the market is positive today, right? If the market's just getting wrecked again because of Russia-Ukraine news, then we'll probably see downside. But, I'm definitely interested to see, can Tesla hold this 800? This is a big, big level for Tesla. Last time we touched 800, we bounced pretty harshly and moved back up to 936 in 2 days. Let's see what happens today. Right now we're at 835, so we're a little bit higher in the pre-market, and would like to see what happens off this 800 bounce. Very interested in that today. Want to see what Tesla has to say about the 800 level. So here's the 4-hour chart. You guys can see it right there. 4-hour chart, right? Support, support. Do we get anything here? That's something I'm very interested in. Little double bottom on Tesla. Do we break through it? Or I personally think if the market is strong, any type of strength, any type of hold in the market, I think the tendency will be to move higher here off 800. But could be very wrong. But that is what I'm watching early morning today. So that's Tesla. That's what I'm watching, 800. Let's see if that holds. Upstart, took my profits on Upstart yesterday. Why did I take my profits on Upstart? Because I didn't trust it getting through 120. As you guys know, I played this earnings gap fill. I talked about it every day on the live stream and in Instagram, so you guys see that little earnings gap fill, moving down, gap, moving into the gap, played it, got a nice profit. I took profits because I didn't trust for it to get through 120. Now, why 120? It's because it's right, this previous highs right here. You guys see this? So if you're in this play, just be careful. You have previous highs of 120 here. 1, 2, and it looks like Upstart might try to hold here. Now, if it does, there maybe is some opportunity to the upside, but, I'm just keeping an eye on this 120, and I didn't want to hold it any longer. I sold it around 121, 120.5, around that area, and looking to see what happens next. But took those profits, nice downside move. Let's see what happens at 120. This is a big level for Upstart. Keep an eye on that today. Home Depot gets smacked. It absolutely got smacked. What happened? What's going on with it this morning? Nothing much. A little bit higher. Excuse me. Look at that date. Look at that 5-minute, man. That's ugly. Right from open. Just nothing but a downside. A little bit of support found around this. What is this? Around this 313, 312 area. A little bit of support found in that area. So that's your new level to watch today. Daily chart. Where are we bouncing off of? Some previous support here in this area. Not really much of anything. This was hard for me to talk about yesterday because I didn't really know where this could move down to. And I think I was right by saying that because this is sort of just right through. It just knifed through all these levels. Didn't hold here, right? Didn't hold here. Didn't hold it this low. Didn't really hold it this low. So it just sort of knifed through all these levels. The best one I could say is maybe this 315, 313 right here. That's the level I'd probably watch, right in this area. So watch that today on Home Depot, right around that previous low right here, 315. I mean, what I really want to talk about on this one is I think that's a really good opportunity on Home Depot personally. That is a 10% drop on Home Depot. I know it was probably a little bit overvalued up here, but I think Home Depot is a fantastic long-term stock, and I would definitely be interested in. Look at this. You see this green line down here? This is where I first started buying Home Depot. When I first started my long-term portfolio, I was putting dotted lines on where my entries were, so I could always look back at the chart and see my first entry. So look at that. That was just an awesome entry. It's obviously getting chewed into right now, but I started. If anyone's not aware, I started my long-term portfolio. I was very lucky. I have to say, a little bit lucky, but also good timing. And a good job by me, I think. I started my long-term portfolio in the beginning of April. That's when I started, beginning of April 2020. That was my first add to my long-terms. So really nice add down here on Home Depot. But I think you're getting another opportunity, and I would watch this for the long-term portfolio, absolutely. Maybe down to 290. That would probably be where I'd be really comfortable to take some on here at 290. If you do break below this 315 area, I would definitely look for 290 as support. So watch Home Depot, guys. Big downside move yesterday. Could absolutely present opportunity after that type of red day. There's definitely a lot of people that still know Home Depot is a great company. It's just, it's just a little overvalued probably, and Home Depot's not going out of business. So, I mean, at least I don't think so. I think Home Depot's doing just fine. So definitely would present an opportunity in my personal opinion. Here's Lowe's. It looks like you're trying to bounce off that 210 yesterday, right in this area, right? All in these highs, right? 210, 211, all in there. And you're getting an earnings bounce, right? So a little bit of a bounce off earnings. Look at that retest right there. You can see previous resistance trying to turn into support here. I would watch this. Let's see what Lowe's does. I think I would rather, in my personal opinion, I'd rather trade Home Depot and see what it does in correlation to Lowe's today. That would be sort of my watch. What does Home Depot do in correlation to Lowe's? Does Lowe's start to take off? And if it does it start to bring Home Depot higher with it? Because if it does, I think that's a better opportunity. Trading Home Depot higher if Lowe's brings it higher with it. That's what I would be looking for. So that's one of my watches today. Home Depot, Lowe's together. I think they could be interesting. Roku. Okay. I think there could be a technical bounce on Roku to 145. That is what I'm watching. I think that would be a fantastic rejection point to play this back to the downside right here, guys. This is like money to me. I would love to see this. I would love to see this. Maybe one of these. And then play it back to the downside. This is what I want to see on Roku. And this is the play I want to take. Right up in here. So I am going to actually set my alert right here. Create alert at or above. Let's just go 143. Okay. So at or above 143, I want to know if Roku's up there because I believe that you are going to move higher and you are going to reject off previous support, and turn it into resistance right there. So I am going to watch this, guys. This is a setup that I'll be watching. I'm probably not going to play the upside, even though it might be very nice. You guys can watch that today for upside. I believe it will move to the upside because look at this, guys. I think, whenever you see a stock break down this quickly on earnings, I think this is also the gap. Yeah, it's the gap. It's just trying to fill the gap. Then I would look for upside. Absolutely. Right? I think you're probably, I think the better odds of what's going to happen today is that Roku pushes into this previous resistance or previous support and then breaks down off of it. So that's what I'll be watching. Roku could absolutely have more upside. Big volume yesterday. You can see a big monster increase in volume. If we get that push into 145, I will be looking for that same downside play. And that's what I'm watching on Roku. So keep an eye on that one. All right, PANW. So PANW, Palo Alto had really good earnings today. I can review a few of the things they said. So they have a lot of price target increases, overweight ratings, which is very good. A lot of them coming out this morning. RBC, Morgan Stanley, overweight. Citigroup, overweight. Key banks, JP Morgan, Barclays. Just a lot of stuff coming out on them this morning. Forward year 2022 guidance raised. That's fantastic. EPS was fantastic. So, I mean, across the board, this looks like a killer earnings report. So I would definitely be watching this today. Up nicely in the pre-market. Excuse me. And I like this little daily chart. Support, 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 and a good earnings. That, I think, could bring this higher. So today I'll be watching around this 540 because that looks like a very difficult level from the past, right around this 540. If it breaks over 540, then I think you get some really explosive move here. So this is the range I'm watching on PANW, 540 to the upside resistance, and then that 470 downside support. Good earnings. Let's see if there's any continuation there. A lot of upgrades, a lot of price target increases as well. All right. Microsoft, daily chart, right around this 280 level. I know it's not, why is it not showing that on, yeah, it's weird. It must have happened in the after hours. But here's 280 on the 4-hour chart, guys. Right? It looks like the NASDAQ almost. Support, support, and support. So, do we get a bounce off 280? That's what I'll be watching today. A little bit of a downtrend, so I'm not too confident, but I am watching to see what happens on Microsoft at 280. A big, big demand level. 1, 2, and 3. If the NASDAQ shows any positivity today, I think you get upside on Microsoft off this 280 demand level. If you break down, that's a big level to watch to the downside, right? So you're sort of at that line in the sand on Microsoft here, right at 280. So keep that level on watch. We did tap it right here yesterday. Look at this. Tapped it right there. Tap and found support off. So I'm going to be watching this 280 today. Do we get that continuation off of it? I think that's a pretty big level there. You can clearly see that. 1, 2. It did tap 280, but the daily chart's just not showing it. So 280 on Microsoft, level I'm watching today. And then finally, for me, AMD. AMD been outperforming very well, and I like where it's holding. You can see right here, right in this level, big hold. Big hold right there. So, previous resistance, right here. Previous resistance. A little bit of resistance there. I know it went through, but I would say that's resistance too. A little bit of, consolidation support. Did break through, and then you can see it starting to hold here again. So I think this 110, 111 area is pretty strong in my opinion. You can see it is trying to hold here. If it holds here, that's a higher low, which is something we have not seen in a lot of stocks, right? A higher low would be a very nice watch here on AMD. Does it bounce off this higher low? Can you maybe make a higher high? These are all things that I would love to start seeing from stocks, but they're just not doing them yet. So I would love to see if we can build a higher high here. Don't really expect that today, but we are seeing a higher low. We're seeing support at a previous resistance point, trying to turn into support right here at 111, 110. And I would love to see if we could find some type of continuation off this support, right? You can see it right here. Look at that little double bottom support. We'd love to see if there's any continuation. If we get over these highs, I think you see it. If you get over the highs of 122, I think you can see it, right? I want to see a break of 122 for confirmation right there. So break of 122, that would be great. Support down here at 110, 112, right? 1, 2, 3, little double bottom. Need to see that higher high come in. That would give me more confirmation. So that's another one I'm watching today. AMD to the upside. See what happens, guys. To review everything I went over. Today is going to be very dependent on the NASDAQ and on the overall market. Do we find more continuation off that demand zone, or do we just dump right through it again? And do we get more bad news from Russia, Ukraine? Does that cause market reaction? If that happens again, then really there's nothing that I can say or do to predict that. So it's just going to be, that's just the moral. That's just the unfortunate truth, right? No, none of us here in the chat, including myself, including anyone on the market, can predict market reactions to Russia and Ukraine news. Whether you think it's going to happen and you think the market's going to tank, or whether you think it's not going to happen and you think the market's going to go higher, you're totally guessing, right? We're all guessing. Anyone that talks about it in the chat, or if your friends are talking to you about it, right? It's all just a total guess. So that is not something you can physically or possibly predict. So right now, I'm just sticking to the price action, right? If it happens, it happens. That's why you have to protect yourself. But as of right now, I have to be honest, I definitely like the demand that we're trying to hold in some degree. I'm not saying that I'm very bullish here, but I definitely think there is a potential hold at demand. However, I am also keeping in my mind the possibility of just a total debacle because of more economic news, and it just breaks right through, right? So there's a lot of things going on in my head. It makes it very difficult to trust anything. That's the moral of the story right now in the market, right? Very difficult to trust anything because of all the things that are working against the market. So that's what I have. Let's go ahead and go over some of the stocks that you guys want to look at. The first one is XOM. So if you guys could take 1 second, please, before I do this, please go ahead and press the like button. Just, give a little bit of a 10-second silent break. Just press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you guys enjoy the live streams, that would be much appreciated. It definitely helps out the channel, helps out the videos, helps us continue to grow, helps me stay motivated to continue to do these things because it's true. It's definitely motivating to see more people like it and enjoy it and subscribe. So that would be great. All right. XOM. I think it's taken a little nap. I think XOM is taking just a little nap here, guys. And so is oil. All right. So oil futures sold off a little yesterday. I wouldn't say it sold off, but they moved lower. So here's oil futures. Right. Pushed higher into 95. Sold off yesterday. I keep on saying sold off, but it's not really sell off. It's like 4%. Moved lower yesterday and sort of is sliding again today, right? So we got a little bit of a slip, right, on oil. And that is, for multiple reasons. It looks like it hit a big rejection point. You guys can see it right there. And that just sort of is causing energy to slow down as well. You can see the XLE. XLE sort of slowing down as well. Hit a big resistance point. That's not really a very nice candle to look at, to be quite honest. So, hey, at least now, guys, if you are looking at oil to be investing in, I would be very cautious of this level. I would be very cautious of this 70 level, right? I'm not someone that would be taking longs on this. This is not a very pretty chart in my opinion. So if it looks a little better, if I see a little something here, maybe a little bit of an uptrend starting to form, something like this, we start to push back into the previous highs, then yeah, that looks good. But right now, looks like energy is just taking a little bit of a slip. And you type in XOM, but you need to be watching, right? You need to be watching the oil XLE, energy, and then oil. Those are the two things I'd be watching if you're trying to trade XOM. So oil maybe is a little pullback opportunity, absolutely, potentially. Obviously going to be the same exact thing, guys. Going to depend on what comes out of Ukraine and Russia, which is just very difficult to predict. Because if things don't escalate anymore, if things sort of cool off, I would expect oil to come back down. If the things escalate, if news escalates, if more bad things are going on, I would assume oil pushes up again. So it's very correlated to what goes on in Russia and Ukraine, which makes it very correlated or very difficult to predict what happens next. That's the unfortunate truth. So XOM, a little bit of a slip. Just watch XLE and watch CL/CL. Those are the two things that I'd be watching to influence the price of XOM. All right. UPS. So UPS had that. This is another stock that did a fantastic. Oh my God, I can't believe I missed this. Wow, why did I miss this? I remember looking at this too. This is sort of upsetting. Damn, this one hurts a little bit. I was all over this too. I missed it. Wow, did anyone catch this? Jeez. Yeah, 220. Yeah, there was some news on the Iran deal. I do. Thank you, Supreet. I do remember that. That was yesterday as well. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's almost over. Whoever put this in, I would have probably already... I wouldn't touch it anymore. The earnings gap fill. I know it probably has maybe some room to 202, but you got to accept that this is over. If you're not in halfway into this move, I would say it's not worth touching anymore. Wow. This is a fantastic earnings gap fill. Really wish I took this one. Looking at it, you can just see, look at when it broke down below this 220 and look at that downside. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff right there, guys. That's just another great example of an earnings gap fill. Look at that. Beautiful. So I would say it's over. I probably wouldn't trade it any further. Because if you didn't catch it at least like halfway, guys, I always have a rule. If I don't catch it, halfway into that gap, I'm not touching it because the margin, the opportunity is just not as good anymore. The risk to reward just not there. So UPS, nice earnings gap fill. You have it in the chat, but if you didn't catch it yet, I would say pass on it. But maybe there is more. You want to squeak out a little bit more? Definitely possible. Watch 202. Damn, that was a good one. If anyone got any more of those, let me know. So Cisco. I got a lot of stuff on here. Let me clean up this chart a little bit. All right, guys. So Cisco is a stock that's continuously holding here at this 53, 54 level. You guys can see right in this area, right? Big dollar level and then big support. 1, 2, 3, 4, big support. The only thing I have problems with on this stock is it seems like the upside can be slightly limited. I just don't quite know which level it's going to reject, right? So you have rejections here, you have rejections here, you have rejections here. So it seems like there could be a lot of rejections coming in. You're already sort of rejecting one of these previous levels. You can see right here, you're starting to reject this level. Almost looks like it's creating a head and shoulders. So just watch out for 57, 58. I wouldn't trade it here. This is a very, sort of a choppy stock. I would need to see it over 58 probably for more upside. Watch that previous top. Looks like a little bit of a double top. PFE, gap fill from November. Let's see. What are you looking at here? Yeah. I would probably want to see it under that low first. PFE gap fill. Yeah, it's just sort of small, but what's the low of this candle? Looks like I already had it set up. 46.55. 46.55. Maybe like 44. It's definitely no UPS, I'll tell you that. It's no UPS, that's what I'll say. But definitely possible. Definitely possible. I would just look to see if you break under that 46.50 right here. 46.50 right in there. Right in there, guys. 46.50. If you break that, I think you get more downside. We looked at lows. KOD, I keep seeing that. Kodiak Sciences. Looks like a biotech that was sort of just pumped up. I wouldn't like this at all. Just watch this level here, 42. But biotechs, I don't know anything about. Biotechs are impossible to know what's going on. Just watch that 42. GLD still on its little grind. That's pretty nice. Watch gold, LRCX, Lam Research. Maybe right in this level. You guys can see 546, right? Sort of right in there. Little double bottom. See if it holds there. Needs to hold that. Little double bottom right there. King of Diamonds. AGen. Hey guys, a $2 stock. It looks like a total pump and dump, sort of back and forth, back and forth. I mean, maybe you can play it off this. Maybe your risk to rewards there, right? AGEN. Maybe you got some risk to reward here at these lows, but this is just not a stock that I have any interest in. You can see it pops on news and then sells off. Pops on news, sells off. Pops on likely news, sells off. So if you want to try to catch the news, well, you can. Not really my style. All right, last one, Snow. Snow is just a really bad chart. I'll also look at AMAT too, actually. Snow just not my favorite chart. It got really rejected here. You guys remember we were watching this level? If you guys watch the live stream, you'll remember. Right here, you can see support, resistance, resistance. We were watching this. We were watching 310 as we started to push into it. I don't know if you guys remember, but so that's why that level was there. 310 double top, not good. I think it sells back off into 240. I mean, it's just going to be stuck in this range, right? Are you really interested in trading this range? I'm not. But that's where I think Snow just continues, in this range. All right, last one, AMAT. Because it's a chip stock and I've been interested in it, it's just not really doing anything. Yeah, I just don't like trading these stocks. The stocks that just don't go anywhere. This stock's just not going anywhere right now. It's been stuck for a year. Pretty much a year, AMAT has been stuck. So don't trade a stock that's been stuck for a year. All right, guys, if you want to support the channel, the desk mat on the top right, that is sold out, unfortunately, so can't get that anymore. If you're interested, I think there will be a secondary market. That's sort of how these work. So keep an eye on that. If you guys want to support the channel with some merchandise from the Options Insider, that's what I'm wearing right now. You got transitory was transitory, to play on Jerome Powell, right? The word transitory means that it comes and goes. So the word transitory was actually transitory itself, which is, I think, pretty funny. So if you guys want to check out that, trend is your friend, take profits. If you want to support the channel, it's down in the comments below, or in the description below, to buy a shirt. I believe there is I believe actually I have a discount code running right now, which it's the word earnings, because it's earnings season. So I believe that should work. If it does not, reach out to me. You guys can hear that because you're on the live stream. And then, last but not least, let me go ahead and just give a quick shout out to, I hope to get something working here soon. Right here. Desi Gaming. I'll probably start to do like streams at night, and we'll talk about stocks. We'll play video games. It's probably not going to be something that I do very often, but figure it'd be nice to have the channel. If I ever want to do that, it would be fun. So if you want to check it out, feel free. But of course, follow the main channel. Subscribe, like the video. Yes, I am going away. I'm going away tomorrow and Thursday. This is the last live stream of the week. If you guys could give me a like for the last live stream of the week, that would be great. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you guys. Peace out.